I'm going to pause the recording. Good morning. Welcome to ClayChat. Today I speak to Ian Glenny all the way from the Midlands. And Ian will share with us his journey. He will talk to us about his philosophy, his experience, his love for glaze and pots. And I've selected this picture to start off. Ian, over to you.
Well, it's one of my my lovely urns that I was cracked due to a fault, possibly Eskim. You never can tell. And I put my pots and I let them age in the garden, and they give me a lot of joy, And it's amazing how many people buy them. It's quite incredible because they look so beautiful, just so natural.
They are also. I didn't know they're for sale.
Well,
let's move on. Sorry, I just
not all of them are for sale. Not all of them. So the very well mossed ones I keep for myself. It doesn't take long to moss pots in this climate where we live in the mountains.
I can imagine. Good. There we go. We've got a photo of yourself in your younger years. Is that where it all started?
Well, it was quite a few years into my pottery. I was throwing in my little thatched house inside the barn to stop the pots from freezing, because we used to lose a lot of pots in winter. You know, we went down to quite low extreme temperatures, -9, -10. So I built this little thatch house just to put a little fireplace and some shelving. I threw pots there, let them dry to prevent them from freezing.
Okay. Do you get your clay actually to also freeze, Ian?
My clay is too.
Does the clay also freeze in winter?
Oh yes, it does. When you throw in a pot, it's well known in cold climates. You can make a batch of 100 pieces, put them out in the gallery, and if there's a heavy frost, it'll actually make them into 1,000 different pieces, and they just collapse and fall apart. So that was a challenge, you know, not a big challenge, but I organized it. So it's getting used to this beautiful climate we have.
There we have a view of your kiln. You want to tell us about your kiln?
Well, that's a 2-chamber kiln. It was going to be a 3-chamber. It's an oil. I use a lot of sump oil and paraffin and diesel, and it's about a 200 cubic foot kiln. It's quite large. The second chamber is about 150 cubic foot, and that's fired with wood. And I've got altogether, I've got 16 kilns.
Oh my word! More than enough to choose from to work on.
Yeah, I indulged a bit.
When did you build this kiln, Ian? Which year?
That was about 20 years ago. 20 years ago.
Did you
I built
do
it with my son. Okay. My son Daniel Griffin. He's a potter in the Cape. Yeah.
We'll get to him as well. That's your son, hey?
That's my son, yeah.
So Daniel is still doing ceramics. So you've inspired him to continue.
Oh, well, you know, I took him overseas in 99 to go to Sven Bayer's workshop. He had a free workshop. So I phoned him up and I said, come on, let's go. We went over there for 3 weeks, and it was a wonderful trip. It was lovely bonding. He was only 16 then. It was wonderful because I wanted to introduce him, to tempt him, and he was totally seduced.
Oh, wonderful.
He just loved it. Yeah. So he became a very good potter. Yeah.
Well done.
And he's setting up a pottery in Wolvengat, near Manus, setting up a lovely pottery there.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. We must get in contact with him. This picture was in the Midlands Meander magazine. Do you want to tell us about that picture?
Well, that was taken in '85. Unfortunately, some people have died. Yeah, there were just 6 of us that started the Meander. Sadly, with the economy and all this nonsense, and the commercialism of the Midlands meander, people just get pushed aside, unfortunately, by big business.
So you've lost a lot of studio visits. The people go to the commercial areas.
Yeah, from creating the amazing
the Piggly Wiggly that's close by to you.
Yeah, it's and also we inspired so many people to come to the area, and there's so many hundreds of people that have joined the Midlands Meander because of the beauty, and we've had a lot of advertising. Midlands Meander is the most advertised group in the country, and so we've had a lot of visuals, lots of publicity, and it inspired the whole retirement village in Howick. So it's been very influential, actually. But sadly, I'm the only one that's left on the meander now.
Yeah, obviously, because David Walters has moved to the Cape. You've got Lynn Scott still there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. There we've got a lovely pot. You want to tell us about this pot and where it was fired?
Well, I made that pot in '97 at Chuck Schwartz's place in Devon. I've stayed with him a few times. He's a lovely man. He's a Canadian potter, Jungian analyst. And I actually took two different clays. He had a dark clay and a light clay. And I said, have you tried mixing them? And he said, no. I said, well, let's try mixing them. So we mixed them, and we got this beautiful, beautiful texture and color, and it was fired in a climbing kiln. It's an anagama kiln, which was built by Shiro Shujimura, a very well-known, famous potter in Japan. And it was a privilege I made about 20 pots in his studio. And then I went back in '97 with my son, and he had them in his showroom. And he said, look, I've had these in the showroom. And he said, everyone wants to buy them, please take them. So that was how. So, but I love that piece. I love the natural ash. It sings for me.
It's beautiful. Is Chuck Swart, is he still alive?
No, he died recently. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's from the same firing in the same kiln, the Anagama.
Absolutely exquisite. It looks toasty, like Phil Collins said. There we've got some layered glaze work that you can tell us about, Ian.
Well, it's a celadon with overlaid with ash, grass ash and wood ash, which I collect on the farm here. I've tried to keep everything as local as possible on the 60 acres that I've got. I use as much as I can here. The wood from the farm, the reed ash, the grass ash. I've got oak trees. I planted about 8,000 trees here, a lot of oak trees. So I get my ash from the oak and pin oaks and black oaks, Spanish oaks. So it's very interesting playing around with this texture and seeing, what happens.
And tell us about your clay. You also do your own clay, local. It's not bought clay.
Yes, I dig my own clay here, just below the orchard, what's now the orchard. And it's a beautiful clay. It's absolutely beautiful. And we've got lots of it there. So I'm using more and more and more of my own clay here. And obviously I use feldspar and grog and things, which are, I buy in.
And the clay that you dig, it's a terracotta color clay, or is it a stone clay?
It's actually, I fired it to 1400, which I fire my oil kiln in, and it went black. So by the time I've mixed all the other stuff, the grog and the feldspar and a bit of silica, it goes a beautiful color, beautiful color.
There's a little gem.
That's a porcelain piece. Yeah, as I told you the other day, I made about 4 tons of porcelain and I've stored it away. I made that, nearly 25 years ago, 26 years ago. And it's green now. It's lovely. You know, it's very smelly, as the Japanese say, very smelly.
It's ready
it's
for
green, actually. But it's still moist. It's still moist. Sorry?
It's ready for the next generation to use.
Exactly. It's still moist and still ripe, very ripe. And it's I've used a little bit. Absolutely beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Can't wait to see what you do with that porcelain. You want to tell us about this? This is also from your stoneware clay, that you're locally dug.
Yeah, it's my stoneware clay mixed with my local clay, and an iron slip, comb decorated with a ash celadon.
So this one is not a layered glaze. This is the slip and glaze.
Slip first, and then biscuit fired, and then glazed.
Yeah, I want to get to a pot where you tell us about your triple layering of glaze.
Well, the iron glaze on there is mainly iron oxide with my local clay, and then combed. This piece is a porcelain piece with a double dip of reed ash and grass ash with wood ash. It's actually reed ash and wood ash, which we get on the farm here. And it just sings to me. That's why I kept it. I've kept about 400 pieces of my pieces. And my mom, who was the harpist with the Durban Symphony, she encouraged me, actually. She was wonderful. She encouraged me to do what I wanted to do. And she said to me, when my pots came out the kiln, she said, keep your precious pieces, which I did. I listened to her. And I'm glad I did.
Tell me, after school, you went to study?
I went to Durban Art School, or Tech, and then I did ceramic design, but I dropped out halfway through the second year.
And then is that when you started with your hands in clay?
That's right, yeah. Andrew Walford was a big influence on me. He helped me a lot. He helped me build my first two-chamber kiln in Berea, Durban. It was wonderful. Oil kiln, double chamber. Yeah.
Wonderful. There you can see, is that an Andrew Walford influence, some of your early work?
Well, it's Korean, Chinese, Japanese influence, and especially Korean. I'm very influenced by the Korean pottery. They just have a special quality. You know, the peasants were the potters were so poor when they made rice bowls. They didn't have time to even turn the foot. But they are so beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I assume this is hand built, slab built?
Yes, slab built and reduction fired with ash again.
Do you prefer wheel work, Ian, or hand work?
I prefer wheel work.
See there we've got a lovely tea bowl as well, a gift from the kiln.
Yes, loved it, and yeah, it's also ash. In fact, most of my glazes have got some quantity of ash. About 90% of them have got ash in.
You say that you fired to 1400 degrees, Ian?
Yeah, it's about 1394. It's cone 14 dropped. So it's very high fired.
And how long does a firing take you?
Anything between 24 and 36 hours. Depends on the weather, on all sorts of things, you know.
Yes, and the size of your kiln inside, about approximately how many pots do you need to fill up your kiln when you want to fire it?
Well, wood kiln, which is about 7 meters long, and that's probably about 2 to 250 cubic foot. That's my Anagama wood-fired piece. And then my oil kiln, my one oil kiln, which I use, is 200 cubic feet. It's about 5 cubic meters.
It's quite a lot of pots there, no?
Yeah, it takes, if you squeeze it in, it takes a few hundred pieces.
I can imagine. You want to tell us about this beautiful vessel here?
Well, when it came out the kiln, it blew me away, to put it mildly. So I've got it in my private collection. It's a beautiful piece. The iron, I can't even describe it.
Well, I see a beautiful, it is tin mocha glaze, I assume, and your wax resist pattern.
It's a porcelain piece which is double dipped in ash. Wax resist on a celadon and then double dipped in an ash glaze.
What is the approximate size of this vessel? Height?
It's about 12 to 15 inches. I'm just guessing now, about 15 inches high.
Quite a nice tall piece. There we've got another hand-pulled piece, a square with a lid.
Yes,
Love
also
the wax
porcelain.
pattern and the you seem to use a lot of wax for your layering.
Yes, I love the challenge of hot wax and decorating it, but it's got to be done very quickly, you know. But you've got to be, you know what, it's got to be done spontaneously. I would say. Yes.
Yeah, so timing is of the essence when you do the wax before you can do the next layer of glaze.
Yes, yeah.
Otherwise, it all peels off.
Well, it's just a matter of mixture. When you use your paraffin, I tend to go for a wax just to help other people. A wax which is about 40% wax and about 60% paraffin. I find that ideal, but you've got to keep it warm, but not too hot. You know, so it flows nicely with a brush.
Okay, that's quite a high content of paraffin. Yes.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with it.
There we've got a lovely long-necked vase. Beautiful ash drips. Some lovely flashing.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Yeah.
I want to get to
I love the color.
Yes, the very bright orangey color.
Yeah.
Here we've got a jug.
It's a sort of a traditional English jug.
Most gorgeous tin mocha on there. And I see you do like the combing through your slip. The pattern has become like your trademark. There's a beautiful, exquisite piece.
Yeah. It's a Gwari casserole from Cardew's days, a copy, which the Gwari people made in Nigeria. You get Nigeria and what's the other country near Ghana? And I've been very influenced by Michael Cardew's philosophy and Bernard Leach, of course, and Hamada. But that is it's a piece that just blew me away.
Yeah, it must be amazing when you work on the piece and you think that this is what you plan to get, and when it actually comes out and the kiln's given you this gift of the reactions of the layering, it's just exquisite.
And when it's 10 times better than you thought, it just, you have to keep it.
It's a bonus. There's a lovely vase, beautiful shape.
Yeah, it's a Chino glaze. Chino glaze got a bit of salt in it, about 2 or 3% salt, and nepheline cyanide, and then ash from the firing, you know. Yes. Ash. It was done in my anagama.
There we've got a unique one vessel as well, little lug.
Yes, a Bellarmine jar. Yeah, it's lovely, lovely color. The clay is just so warm and loving.
That would be from your local clay that you've dug, if I'm correct, no?
It's with my local clay. Yeah.
There we've got a small little vase with the most beautiful crackle white glaze on.
I love crackle glaze. You know, a lot of customers come through here and say, "Is this raku?" And I say, no, it's not raku, it's actually half-fired stoneware. So it's durable. But it took me years to get that crackle effect, to get it just right.
And to get that beautiful white.
Yeah, it's a paddle vase and then fluted.
There we've got a teapot with a lovely handle. Tell us about that.
Well, it's an ash celadon, and it's just to me, it's a classic shape, you know.
What is your preferred piece to make, Ian, or do you love doing the variation of shapes and utility pieces as well as pieces for display?
I love making Japanese ceremonial vases, you know. That's what I love doing, and tea bowls and teapots. For
use. Do you want to tell us about this beautiful piece? There you've got is this your triple layer glaze?
It's again double and triple dipped, yeah.
It's very unique because you don't see this kind of skill anymore.
No, I suppose it's quite, you've got to look for it, you know.
Yes.
I haven't been to Japan, but I imagine there's some lovely. I mean, I've seen pots there.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about local in South Africa. It's not something that you very often see.
Yes. No, you're right. Yeah.
Internationally,
it's yeah.
There we've got a lovely porcelain plate.
Yes, lovely. Yeah.
Favorite.
Also in my collection.
Is this also your slip, or would this be a tin mocha? This would be the iron and the slip.
Yeah.
Giving you that reaction.
This is a saturated ash iron glaze which I put on top, wax resist, and then put on top.
Here we've got another deeper bowl. There's your first animal design amongst the other designs.
Well, it's thrown and then adjusted and then handles, not a handle, but I mean grooves. So it's really a big baking dish, you know. And it's to me, it's wonderful, beautiful.
How do you work when you plan for a firing? Do you create a lot of vessels and then do the glazing, or do you create and do glaze, and you know what you're going to glaze?
Yeah, when I throw a whole series of pots, casseroles, etc. Then when I've done the biscuit firing, I choose which I want to do. I do a lot of slips before on the raw, and then choose different glazes for the different forms.
But you do have the end result in mind once you create it.
Mm.
This is a unique piece with a little lugs on.
Yes.
Lots of your Anglo-Oriental style is what Ronnie Watt calls it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Also, beautiful little vase. Porcelain, I assume?
It's porcelain, yes. With a clear white glaze and iron.
There we go to a nice big charger. Quite huge. Very large.
Yes. Yeah, it's a big salad bowl.
And lovely greens. Would that be some oxides that you've got there?
Yeah, it's a crackle over a 10 moku, but you see where it's pooled, how dark it is underneath the middle. Where it's thinner, it goes lighter. It just these things happen in the kiln. You can't predict it, but when it does come out, it's heavenly.
Absolutely. And the green obviously would be your chrome, hey, that you've added, chrome spots.
I do green, I believe green with chrome, yeah.
There's a lovely little crackle tea bowl as well.
Yes, with ash again.
Is this also a very large vessel, Ian, size-wise?
I think it's about 18 inches. What is that? Less than half a meter. It's a porcelain piece. It's quite tall because you can't see the foot.
Yeah.
But I was very happy with it, you know.
Ian, did you ever teach? You know, did you offer classes for teaching students, or did you take on apprentices in your years?
I have had a few people come through. Yeah, some youngsters that have taken it up and had quite a life-changing influence on them, actually, and encourage them to take it up. Just do do your own authentic self. Be your own authentic self. You know, if you love something, do it. And I mean, sadly, a lot of people take another path, you know. But I've just stuck to it, you know.
Yeah, life has become a bit instant, you know, with instant buying clay, instant buying glazes ready prepared. It's a whole different lifestyle when you dig your own clay, you prepare the clay, you make and you fire and you mix your own glazes. It's something that's become a very rare sight.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is a bit of a dying breed, unfortunately, with this new technology of instant coffee.
Instant gratification. Tell us about this large charger as well.
It's also a porcelain piece, a big bowl with wax resist and a blue celadon, a slight blue celadon.
We've got this lovely gentle bird.
That's inspired by Cardew again.
Do you prefer the porcelain for your large plates?
When you get into it, porcelain's quite a difficult medium to work with. That's why I've made porcelain, which is what, 26 years old. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. I promised you some as well. As the Japanese say, it should be very smelly. The clay should be very smelly
Well,
to be mature.
Being a difficult clay, I'm just thinking about those large plates. You know, it takes some skill to get a porcelain plate so beautiful. There we've got a vase. And I said, I see a dragon in there, but there you say
when you do the right
birds.
Well, it's two doves flying across.
Absolutely. I'm going to go through. There's a lovely piece that you can see had good heat come down on it. Do you prefer the oil firing to the wood firing, Ian?
I prefer the wood firing. But with the oil firing, you've got a little bit more control, you know. With the wood firing, it's much more spontaneous. It's you can't actually tell until you've unpacked the kiln, you know.
Very unpredictable.
Yeah, but that's what's so exciting about it, you know. That's what life's about, you know. It's not usual. It's not usuals, you know. It's an unexpected joy.
Yeah, and it's great risks that can give great results, but also great disappointment.
Life is a risk. Life is a risk.
Yeah. Did you ever have
Living is a risk.
Did you ever have a firing, Ian, that was totally disastrous?
Oh, plenty. Not plenty, but I mean, I've had I've had some disasters, as every potter will tell you, really bad disasters. Yeah. But you know, you learn from your mistakes.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say, isn't that our university fees or our educational fees that we pay?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us about this beautiful vase? There's some unique design on there.
Yeah, well, I was inspired by the Bushman paintings up the hill from me, up in the Berg here. And just to see those Bushman paintings, so spontaneous and beautifully carved. So I did some paper resist. I did quite a bit of paper resist patterns on my pots.
Lovely. There we've got a lovely small little tea bowl, some beautiful blue in there. Also a little bottle, beautiful shape. I assume this was thrown on the wheel and altered?
No, it was slab built, and then the neck is thrown.
Okay. There we've got another, like a casserole dish.
Yeah, it's a squared pie dish, yeah.
I find the glazing so interesting because it gives a look of embossed glaze. You know, with the wax resist, the glaze looks as if it's embossed. And it's just so unique.
Yeah, it's like looking into the cosmos. Yeah, that's one of my sculptural pieces, which I want to do more of now. But it's a beautiful, it's a cypress ash glaze, which came out absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
How beautiful! How big would this piece be, Ian?
It's about 12 inches high, maybe 12, 14 inches high.
Okay, so we're going to look forward to see some more of this work in future.
I hope so. It depends on the universe.
Oh, there we've got a lovely huge charger with some birds. Also porcelain.
Yes.
Definitely inspired by the nature around you.
Very much, yeah. Very much so, yeah.
I'm just going to flip through the photos because I want to. There we've got some unglazed outside and glazed inside.
And just look at the color of the clay.
Yes, the iron spots, just gorgeous. I love the texturing on the side as well.
Yes, that's right. I love rope patterns. I do a lot of rope patterns.
Yeah, it's part of your signature, the rope patterns and the combing and the wax patterns.
Yes.
Here we've got a lovely charger as well. Look at the pooling, the bottom.
Yes, yes.
There's another bottle, water bottle.
It's based on a like a Tiang Sung. It's like 13th, 14th century when they made those. I was quite inspired by those. It's incredible how long ago it was that they were doing those pots. And imagine the hardships they had to endure, you know. Everything was so simple. But look at the results.
This is a beautiful
That's a lovely
vase. Is this your favorite shape, throwing?
It is very much. It's very Korean shape and very challenging to get the form just to sit in harmony. It's just to make it natural. To
balance out and bring it all the elements together.
Yes. Yeah, it is all about balance. Yeah.
Then we've got a lovely tea bowl. I love the running of the glaze.
Yes, I love it. Yeah.
Pattern on there. Your signature or your stamp that you use to mark your work, Ian, has it changed over the years?
Oh yes, it's changed quite a bit. That one there is the Buddhist Eightfold Path, which I liked, so I made a stamp of it.
Yes, that's why I'm asking about the stamp. There we've got a lovely lidded vessel as well with your wax work.
Yeah, it's a porcelain piece, which I have in my collection. And it's one piece that really did sing to me because the color is just mind-blowing.
Exquisite. There we've got a lovely ancient style vessel with the two lugs. It's just exquisite.
Yeah, it's like a tea caddy, an oriental tea caddy. Yeah.
There's a nice large vessel. Very big.
Yes, it's very big. It's about 800-900 high. Fired in my anagama. the nice thing about the Anagama, you can put big pieces in quite comfortably, you know. There's lots of space there.
Do you enjoy making such large pieces?
Well, I did enjoy it. Yeah, I did enjoy it.
It takes a lot of physical strength to throw such a large piece.
Oh yeah. I mean, there were times when I was young, I used to throw half a ton a day when I was making flower pots. I threw a lot of flower pots, and it was half a ton in a day. I had the energy.
That is quite a production amount. There we've got a lovely bowl as well. See your chrome dots inside.
Yes.
There's a lovely close-up. Look at the ash on the rim. Beautiful. There's another, also fish there. I should have turned the photo around.
Yes. Fish dish, yes.
Oh my word, there we've got our beautiful birds.
Well, that piece I'm going to keep for myself.
It is exquisite. Look at the glaze.
Just the tenmoku. The tenmoku, it came out, you know, what I loved about that piece, the tenmoku in the background was subdued. It didn't come up and it was just perfect for the birds to come out.
Looks like there's some shine on the water with the glaze. It's just exquisite.
Absolutely.
One of your most favorite pieces.
One of my most favorite pieces, definitely. Also porcelain.
There you can see it with a different light.
It's lovely, actually beautiful.
I want to actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to run back. I want to get to the pictures when I did the studio visit we took when we arrived there. I would like to just talk us through that. Ian has recently done some renovations on his studio, and he's created the most amazing studio, and I want to show you the pictures. This is as we were driving in. There you see Ian's gallery side. Near Ian, your house?
Let me get my glasses on. Oh yes, that's right. Yes. That's my home next to the kiln room.
Wonderful.
I moved into that. I'm just redoing my old house.
Let me show you. There's the old
the front
house.
Garden.
There's the house that you're redoing or redid recently. Look at the windows.
Yeah.
Ian has collected windows and doors over many years, and he actually incorporated in the new design. So I didn't take too many pictures. That's from the outside on the other side of the studio. And it's by the waterfall. Can you see the stream on the left side? And then this is what inspires Ian daily. I cannot imagine not being inspired by this view. There's the inside view of the one side of the studio. Lots of big windows. Have you started working in this new section, Ian? Not yet.
I've just put my wheels there and just finished all the electrics, so it's all ready to go. So next week I'll be throwing again.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, there's the wheels inside. And I must tell you, if you look outside that window, there's your kick wheel as well. You don't work on the kick wheel, or do you prefer the electric wheels, Ian?
I do work on the kick wheel when I'm in the mood, but it was made by Andrew Walford's brother, Russell Walford. He only made 10 out of Canadian Oregon. And I bought that about 40 years ago. But it's a beautiful wheel to sit quietly and not have the noise of the machine.
Yes.
But I must say these new wheels from America, they are so quiet now. They are so quiet. It's lovely.
That's the view from your studio. The little stream, waterfall.
Yes, that's look at the waterfall. It's very low at the moment. And then that's what's going to be my throwing studio on the right.
What a view. There we go. That's Barry, the photographer that was there with us today. You can see how Ian has incorporated all the different windows and doors together to make this beautiful view. That was inside the studio with ready pieces. That's when I was shopping. Ian was packing. Just I didn't take more pictures there because I was shopping, Ian. I should have taken more more pictures there. And then we get back to the mossy pot. So I'm going to stop sharing and then open up if anybody wants to ask Ian some questions. Ian, what a journey you've had.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful journey. Wonderful with lots of blips in between.
What's your plans for the future, Ian? I know that you had a little time of recovering health-wise, but you say that you're ready to start work and production again and perhaps do a firing soon. Well, not soon, in the near future.
Yeah, I am.
That is wonderful. Gwen, if I see you there,
I want to get my wood fire, my gum again. Hopefully my son's going to come and help me. It's exciting.
Yeah, it would be wonderful to see some work from the studio, some new work, new inspiration for us all.
Yeah.
Gwyneth, did you want to ask Ian a question? Oh, good. I'm glad you joined us. Anybody else?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I've got so many of Ian's pots. Actually, they're gorgeous. Yeah, they're just gorgeous. I've been collecting them for years, long before I became a potter.
Wonderful. Yeah, I've bought a few pieces and they're just divine to use because they're solid, feels good, it tastes good. Everything is just different from a handmade piece.
Yeah, and my garden is just full of pots with plants in. They're just stunning. Yeah.
Wonderful. So there you've got one of your huge supporters, Ian.
Good. I'm sure I remember you coming into the studio.
I hope so. I used to, every time I sold a house, because I used to sell houses, every time I sold a house, I'd take a bit of that commission and buy a pot. So, and now I'm making.
Where are you now? Where are you living now?
I'm in Hilton.
I remember you were Howick area. That's right. You used to, when you sold a house, you used to come in and buy some pots.
Yeah. And now I'm making pots, so I've got no money now. So, yeah.
Join the club.
Anyway, yeah. But you inspired me to make pots. Yeah, definitely inspired me to make pots.
I'm glad I did. Yes, good.
John, you wanted to ask something? You're muted. John, you're muted.
Can I ask if there were only 3 aspects of pottery that you do for the rest of your life, what are your 3 favorite aspects?
Well, my favorite aspects is using natural clay, dug clay, my own dug clay, prepared clay, and then making tea bowls. I just love tea bowls, love bowl shapes, and platters. There's just, and of course, Japanese altar vases with all their eccentricities. And it gives you it gives you a kind of freedom, when you, because you bringing forth some of your own creation, but it's not just your own, it's a universal creation. It's like a universal consciousness. It's quite incredible.
Wow. Cool. And if somebody, I've heard of a person in China who sells a single vase for $1 million US. If people started buying your work in that price range, what would you do? How would you spend the money?
Buy more vegan food. No, seriously.
But you travel.
Me. No, I've traveled quite a bit. No, I just love where I am. Just love being here on the farm. There's a peace and quiet here, which I love. I actually don't like go traveling anymore. There's a peace here that I find intangible.
Mm. Cool.
What would you change if you had to change anything, Ian? What would you do differently from?
Nothing really. I just be myself.
Embraced whatever comes your way and work with
Yeah, yeah. I think it's just living day by day. It's just every day is different, and yeah, I suppose in an ideal world it would be different, but you know, we have challenges, and it's meeting a challenge every day. You know.
Yes. You were very inspired in your work, you know, Anglo-Oriental or by the East. Is there anybody else or anything different that inspires you today?
Well, I mean, the Unknown Craftsman, the Unknown Craftsman by Yanagi, Bernadette, Hamada, a lot of Japanese potters, and you know, a few English potters, Cardew, you know, the old people, the older potters. But then there's a lot of new people coming out. Not that I like everything, but I love traditional, something that you can hold and appreciate and look at, you know. I don't like too much garish color. You know, I don't like too much pop stuff, you know.
Yes, John.
If you could have a dinner party and invite 12 potters, which 12 potters would you like to have around your dinner table?
That would you have to give me some time to think about that.
Somebody who can cook, firstly.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah. But I can think of a few. Byron Temple is one of the ones I really admire. Byron Temple, Sven Bayer, Nick Collins, and it's quite a list, you know.
Are you in contact with Sven still, Ian?
I haven't seen Sven. I met him a few times. Very lovely, really lovely man. He makes pots with soul. Absolutely amazing man. He was so gracious to us. And Nick Collins, his neighbor, who fired the kiln with us all. I must find the video of the firing there, which he did with my son and I. It's a lovely video. I must try and get hold of it again.
That would be wonderful. Maybe we can also add it into this video. That would be great.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Wonderful. Any other questions?
No, not really. I'm just thoughtless at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm just flabbergasted by the beauty of your pieces. You know, it's, as you say, it's a skill that we don't see. And for me, what's important is that we need to get it transferred. You know, we need to tap into that skill and learn from it to give it to another generation. And I hope that we can create an opportunity where that can happen.
Yes, that would be an amazing thing, because I think it's, as I said to you, it's instant coffee today. It's unfortunately the mentality. It's just we want things now. Not in a year or 2 or 3. There's no long-term plan amongst a lot of youngsters. I'm not just saying youngsters, but a lot of people, you know. And, you know, you can plan, but life changes you, you know, with the wind.
Absolutely. You know, the concept of working for a couple of months on work and then to put it all in a kiln and take that risk, it's not something very South African, you know, it's very Eastern, where a town would work together and a town would fire together the whole Anagama kiln. So it's something that's not in our history, but it's a skill. You know, I've experienced it with the wood firing. We worked for months on pieces that would go in the wood fire kiln, and it's like all the eggs in that one basket.
But it's called faith.
And it's just an amazing journey. It teaches you such a different valuation of a piece.
It does. It teaches you a certain quietness, a quietude, I should say. Just to sit back and just watch, be watchful, and just be aware. Just be aware of how the pots change and how you change with, you know, how your own personality changes with the clay and the kilns, and how you react to everything. You know, it's quite an amazing journey.
Absolutely, it changed me. I know I need to use porcelain in a whole different manner. I can't use it the way I used to use porcelain. But yes, it's been a real honor to have you here and speak to you about your history.
Can I just ask, you were reminiscing about passing on the skills and how, you know, people these days are all about instant coffee and that. If one were to find, say, 20 or 30 people who want to come and train with you, how would that look?
That'd be good. Rika was talking about it. She wants to organize a wood firing Managama kiln, which is about a 24, 30-hour firing. And that would be great to have a whole lot of people get together and fire it, make pots and fire it in there. You know, it'd be lovely.
And how many people can you accommodate, say, living there for 6 months?
6 months?
Oh.
That's a different ball game, John. We were talking about a retreat for maybe a week or two, which kind of went off a bit easier.
I'm just reminded of Spike Milligan.
Let's do a short retreat first, John, and if that works out well, then we can look at a 6 months residency kind of situation, Ian.
Yes. Well, I've got space here. I've got quite a bit of space here. So yeah, it'd be quite exciting actually. And we've got a lot of pine here for the kiln. It's just a matter of getting it here, you know. So because we used the last firing I did with my son, we used about 6-7 tons of wood. So it was quite hectic, but lovely.
Yeah, it's a lot of physical work. John, maybe just for your information, I suggested to Ian that we have a retreat sometime before winter next year, maybe a 2-week retreat to go and create with him, work with him, and he as fire master will lead us then through a firing process. And I hope that we will be able to get that come to fruition.
I think there are loads of people in Cape Town who'd be interested. Yeah, it sounds incredible.
Yeah, so I that's definitely on the books for early next year. Well, before winter next year. We don't want to be there when it's too cold. But the technicalities we'll sort out and work out a basic program to fit with Ian's schedule as well. And that is possible.
Well, the autumn is a lovely time. March to May. It's a beautiful time.
Yes, I was thinking maybe April, but we'll work on that detail in the next couple of weeks to pin it down to a date and then to work towards that.
Okay, good, lovely.
Good. Ian, it was wonderful to speak to you. Thank you for sharing your information, your knowledge, and your passion for clay. I'm sharing all these beautiful pieces. I hope that we can share it with as many and wide people to just see your wonderful work. And I look forward to what you're going to do in that beautiful studio of yours.
Thank you. It's you're most welcome, by the way. Yeah, it's an energy that is in the cloud still. It's amazing. It's just tapping in, which is quite exciting.